Hill Survivors Paintball Playfield, the longest running paintball playfield in the world. We offer many unique outdoor playfields and the ultimate paintball and airsoft experience, including on-site camping and our very own Hell Survivor Tiki Bar. Hell Survivors features the best scenario and big games in the world, like the legendary monster game featuring thousands of players from around the globe. Hell Survivors also specializes in paintball and airsoft parties for kids. Money-saving packages make it easy, affordable, and fun. And while you're on site, check out the new Exotic Sports location. They will beat any advertised price on any paintball item from any paintball store. Just bring in your best deal and we will beat it. Get started at hellsurvivorspaintball.com and let's wargame.
Well, welcome to show 150, and I think I actually pulled that off all on my own without Aaron pushing buttons in the background. It was the weirdest experience for me, let me tell you. Welcome to our 150th episode here. Thank you for joining us for all the other ones. And if you haven't, don't bother. They were really awesome, but you don't need to listen to them. They were just really cool. Other than that, we're joined today by Preacher and Hanu on this Memorial Day weekend. A little rainy for me. I don't know what the weather's like for you guys. Hanu's probably sunny and warm, I'm sure. Well, wait a minute.
In his glasses, it looks warm.
This is my old man thing, man. I can't see the computer anymore without him.
I get you. But of course, now you're actually not in Florida anymore. You're in South Carolina, so you could get some shit weather.
We could, but today was like 85 and sunny and beautiful. And right. I watched it all from the porch while taking turns between sitting down and standing up because my ass still hurts from the ride. Like legit.
Looks like fun, but I don't think I could handle it.
Yeah, it looks like fun, but I don't think I could handle it either. I'd probably one state, and I'd be like, as soon as we got to the border of Ohio, I'd be like, oh, yeah, can we be done?
Yeah, it's a thing, but that's kind of, it's like anything else that you do. Like when you were first grabbed the bus and started working on it, I looked at that project like, I wouldn't even know where to begin. And I remember when you had to like change the seals in the engine and the different shit like that. I'm like, how are you doing any of this? So it's each your own little thing that you get into because it's the challenge of I can do this. I can figure this out. And
yeah. But my butt, I got no butt, man. I'm all bone. I'd be screwed.
It hurts. Like there's no other way to say it. You're fine the first couple days. What really gets you is like the 2 days in a row, like the very end of the day, we ran into like horrible traffic. And so that's just killer on your hands. There's nowhere to pull off. Like Boston we had to go into the Boston Harley Davidson, which is like downtown, like right by the garden. So there's like no other way. Once you're in there, they're like, well, the fastest way is to keep going right through downtown. Oh, by the way, the Celtics have a game tonight. And so it's just packed, completely
gridlock.
The worst for me was the Bronx. The Bronx was ridiculous. And that was the bus, dude. People were trying to drive under the bus.
Through.
Yeah,
I'm so dumb. I thought it was a great idea to try to go into a city like New York City on Friday of Memorial Day weekend. And you know where everybody was going? South to Delaware to go to the beaches. And I got to ride in all of that. I was talking to myself at one point. I'm like, I hate my life. I hate this. I want my helmet off. I want to not be here.
All right. I bet.
I hear you there. Like and share the stream, everybody, please. Thank you for joining us. I see we got Lisa Weber in the house, and this guy named John Vance says, "Hey, hi, preacher." Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Got Tina and
well,
Sean
I
in the
guess-
house, and everybody else that's watching. What's up, everybody?
Tina's even watching. Hi, Tina. All right. So one of the reasons.
Where's my food?
Where's my food? Yeah, where's our brisket, Tina? No. Anyways, she smokes for Memorial Day weekend. It's something else.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So the reason we got this show going on tonight is, we got a couple things. We'd like to talk a little bit about Legends, what happened, how it went,
Yeah.
and then the other big news, the whole Ohana P.B. thing. I thought it would be easier to just let the man answer the questions instead of acting like an intermediary. And I have to apologize if I stutter or anything, guys. I do use Starlink, and we have a wicked storm running through. So I apologize ahead of time. Preacher, take over if you need to, if I'm stuttering.
You look good on my end. I was blurry at the beginning.
All right. I thought that was just I needed more to drink. I thought that's all that was. Drink more and boom, it's clear as can be. So let's start with some Legends fun. It was a hot son of a gun. Holy cow! For
The weather-
Michigan in May, it's usually wet.
It
was wet. It was
like
wet.
3 days before the event, it flipped the forecast. It was supposed to be like kind of cool and rainy all weekend. And then it flipped and got hot and humid, like big time.
Rainy on Friday when we was doing the cornhole tournament.
Right.
which listen, hold on. So let's start there. So for anybody that hasn't been out to the event, obviously Thursday night people start pulling into camping. I'm sitting at home. I'm like, dang, man, I wish I was there on Thursday night. I still got to work. Like, I see everybody pulling in. Everybody say, hey, everybody's asking where people are. And I'm like, man, I wish I could have got out of work. But and then Friday was the MagFed game, right?
Mhm.
And the MagFed and Pump, right?
Yeah.
So, dude, I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted to be there earlier. I couldn't get there. And then I'm on my way there and I'm like, dang, it looks like I'm going to get there right at about 4 or 5 o'clock. And then, of course, we had the seafood boil going on. We had the cornhole. Dude, there was just so much stuff. And so I was like, man, where do I start?
I bought way too much shrimp, though. I still have like 10 pounds of freaking shrimp.
That just means we got shrimp for Monster Game then.
I mean, that was a
Right?
fantastic social event. I mean, I think almost everybody on the property swung through at some point.
It was nice. And you know what was the best part about it is we were kind of done and cleaned up when that gale storm came through. Nate and I were standing. We had to stand on the picnic table seat under the awning because the water was so deep. I mean, it just came down. It didn't go anywhere for a few minutes, but yeah, we just sat back, leaning back. Glenn was with us for a couple minutes, and then next thing you know, Glenn's gone, holding his tent down to the ground, and we're just like looking like, should we help him? No, let's stay here.
We left like 5 minutes before it happened. Lonnie was like, come on, let's go. Let's just have a little quiet time. It's going to be a big day tomorrow. Let's just go chill. We got into the camper, closed the door. I put on the hockey game on my laptop and just kind of sitting, made a nice little drink. And all of a sudden I'm like, is that rain? And then like 2 seconds later, there was no question. It was definitely rain and everything else. And I think I told her like 3 times in the next hour, I'm like, you're a genius. You are a genius for saying we should go back to the camper. Because right now we'd be sitting over there going, I don't know. What do you think? Should we run for it?
Definitely.
Dude.
So Shelly was just asking
like,
you, what hockey game were you watching?
The Panthers play versus the Rangers.
There you go. Panthers versus Rangers, huh? All right. Now shut up, Shelly. No. Love you, honey. I love you.
We love
That's where I'm blind.
Yeah.
That's not mine.
Hey, that came down hard. And so what up at the stage, we had the cornhole tournament going on. We had a bunch of people at the tiki bar. We, DJ was going, we got this cornhole tournament going on. And I'll tell you what, man, shout out to John Short and what's the other guy's name? Butterball, I think it was his name.
Yeah.
shout out to those guys, man. They braved it out in the rain with us because I was like, listen, I'm not stopping this game. We're gonna go through this game in the rain. This is it. Like, we're not postponing this. We're not coming back. Whoever wins, this is the champion. That's it. Like, we're not quitting. And I'll tell you what, those boys stuck it out, man. Them bags were heavy. They was like, if you ever played cornhole with sopping wet bags, I mean, we was smashing them to wring them out. It was like throwing a brick. Like, it was a good game, but we toughed it out, man, and they won. So congratulations to those guys for staying out in that monsoon and playing cornhole, and that's what it's about. Like, at the end of the day, oh my gosh, I went back to the room. I was so cold and wet. Like, I dried my hands off, and all of a sudden there's still seeping water everywhere. But it was a good time.
There were quite a few tents and staging that were no more. Luckily, knock on wood, ours lasted like it should. But yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting.
Like true Legends fashion, like, we've gotten very lucky at a lot of these games where it rained that one year when Dewan and Elijah went against each other. It poured like crazy. We couldn't even do the opening brief. And then 20 minutes before the game starts, it dries up and gets sunny. Like, we've gotten very fortunate about, like, rain just before or after, but right over the top of the game itself when the main game's going on for Saturday and Sunday. We've managed to get through it pretty well.
I can think of one event we didn't.
Legacy was a pretty muddy mess.
Legacy that's the only time I've ever stopped a game because of weather.
Because it was lightning.
Hawaii, the damn field almost caught on fire. So, there's that, but we still didn't stop the game. One year it snowed on Friday night in Chicago. We didn't stop the game. I was holding off as long as I could when that lightning and the storm was going. It was basically gone. It was like the very tail end of it. And all of a sudden there was one last like flash. And before you even really registered the flash, there was a boom and it like shook the tent. I'm like, quick, get him off.
Yeah, that was mudslide and everything. It was an experience. It was still fun. It was a good time.
I had a good time, that's for sure. Yeah. But mainly because I got a hotel room, so I didn't have to sleep in all that mud.
Yeah, I was in the bus. The only thing about that was when we got home from the event, Jimmy and I, it took us like probably 4.5 hours. We were on our knees with putty knives cleaning the tracks on the floor of the bus.
Yeah, because the bus was a muddy mess.
It was but there was no way for it not to be. It just happened to be. That's just the way it was going to be.
Like we threw down pallets and everything in front of the bus. Trying
didn't matter.
Yeah, we almost came up with a stage system to set up outside the bus at events because of that event, and we decided no, it's just too much to carry.
Too much to carry, right?
Yeah, but okay, so we break into Saturday gameplay. Weather was great. We had a fun time.
Gameplay kicked off at 11 o'clock, man, and from the whistle, oh my gosh, it was a banger. It was a banger.
It was great because like we tried like last year. One of the biggest problems that we thought we had fixed last year was that 50-yard line hitting in the middle of the grinder, and last year both times the side that was on Highland side got there first. I got there first by like a minute, like they had it. So I had my refs over a 2-day period, have multiple different refs run it, literally run it, walk it, do all kinds of different things. And both Saturday, Sunday, and the final battle, they hit the 50 right on the button. So a little extra love for Solov because they went above and I gave them the task. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care what it looks like when people are just looking from the outside. I need people to hit that 50 on the button, and they nailed it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, they did a good job. Like I said, it was a banger of a game from the start. And
there is,
and they were on top of it. From the mission, was going on, and there was a little bit of a hiccup with the tanks, or whatever, which is to be expected for some reason. But
well, it's funny because it's every game. There's something. It could be the players dictate what's pressing to them, what they like and what they don't like. And it just depends on the game. For whatever reason, this game was the tanks. both sides were a little confused on the overall rules and kind of the start and the finishes when a tank should come off. And that's what led to most of the problems. The not understanding that a tank could kind of kill itself and get off the field and still make the bottom of the hour insert and get back in. So it almost seemed like they were running 24/7. Well, that's gamesmanship, to give up the ground, get off in time to make that bottom of the hour insert. And then I know they were out here. They were just out here. Yeah, but they made it off the field and back on. That's legal. Like they're good.
Hey, there was one time we was in the back of the field and I looked because I carry my phone on me just so I could time that. We literally got off the field with 1 minute. So I had enough time to get the 3 guys out of the tank, throw 3 more guys in, and boom, it was 1:30.
Right, which is gamesmanship and is totally good. Part of the problem is it wasn't even a problem. We just had to kind of show both sides why that was working and what was going on. And then once they saw it, then they didn't feel like they were being cheated. They thought they were being cheated, but more of lack of, you didn't actually see him come off. So you didn't know when he went back on. Like, it's not that you're wrong that he's been out there that whole time. And the fact that you're upset is because you don't see that little window where he came off and went back on. But we got to see it because it was right by the registration tent. So we saw that loop. And then you came over yelling, he was down there. I just saw he's been down there for long. I'm like, okay, but it's not what you think you see. It's a wide field. It's easy to lose track of the thing. And it actually seemed fine after a while. It just took a little while to kind of settle it in where everybody kind of understood what was going on. And as part of it, we've adjusted those rules over the last 2 or 3 years, and not everybody's played them. And so it's going to cause confusion until it sort of becomes set in stone. That that's the way it rolls.
Right. But all in all, like I said, it was a baller of a weekend. There was there was a lot of back and forth battle. It seemed like red side would go and clear the field, and then the blue side would come back and clear it back again. Red side would clear it, blue side would keep going, and it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I think at the end of the day, what was it? I think like maybe a 3-4 mission difference between in score, realistically. So,
yeah, I mean, there was just a couple times where
I don't know. These guys were
those guys couldn't hang on to something long enough to get like that third scoring kind of thing when that wave was getting pushed back. So they were getting to their objectives, but any of them that were like a timing thing, because it went back and forth, the timing just seemed to work better for Jacob's side. But like I already spoke to Junior, I already told him, I'm like, I watched we've all talked before about this, that, I've watched games be within 25 points and I won't invite a certain commander back, even if they were the winning one sometimes, because it's just not the right vibe. Like, it just didn't gel with the players and with the people and so on. But I've also been at these games where the score didn't reflect how close the game was. Like, you were doing everything you were supposed to do out there, kick and tail all weekend long. You just weren't on the points every time you needed to be, which is it keeps you from winning the game. But a Junior's team to a person would play for him again.
Absolutely.
And to me, that's a commander. That's somebody who will be better the second time. And so on.
Yeah, shout out to all the commanders. In fact, they all had a hell of a chore in front of them. And like I said, unfortunately, the tank always seems to. Hey, there's a reason for that. See, he loves to shoot the tanks. Listen, he's one of my favorite players when it comes to tanks, because I know if there's a tank coming on the field and he's on my team, he's going to stand and shoot that tank. He's gonna literally throw every single ball he has on that tank, and he will not stop. So I love him for that. But no, like I said, shout out to all the commanders that were out there, man. Every single one of them did a fantastic job. From being in the command tent to being on the field and leading the players on the field. I think everybody kept the same focus, which was just go out there, shoot faces, and have a good time. And that's exactly what took place that weekend. On the field, it was a brawl. Off the field, it was nothing but laughs and a great time.
Right. And I was just gonna say, I had a great time off the field. It was too damn hot for me. I played retired prima donna and just I think I laid down in the staging area twice and then was like, yeah, okay, this is just hot, guys. This is just hot. Had to keep moving.
And that's okay.
Shout out to Giggles.
You've earned your ability to, pace yourself in these games. Go in, have a little blast. You've done your time in the mud. You've earned your stripes for sure.
Right. Shout out to Giggles for his blues poo sign. I was rolling at that. And then shout out to Swarm. Thank you for going to each. It wasn't just the red team. So Swarm played for red, but they also went to the blue team. It was like, hey, look, here's some hydration, so that way you guys can make sure that your players stay hydrated.
He was fantastic. He felt so bad because he was sick and couldn't go out onto the field, and he wanted to so bad. He was looking for anybody to kind of give him permission to go, and we were all like to a man, like, you're not going. Look, just don't do it. Don't be dumb about it. There's something else you can do here. And he's like, well, I'll just help with the hydration, all this. And after a while, like, he was just like running their base, like base king, and looking out for all the players and stuff like that. And that's a big part of why I call it the best player family. Like, this is a real thing. The guy could have sat there and moped about his weekend or just kind of hung out with just his guys or whatever. But he was so concerned about making sure that hydration was going on for both sides and looking at, he basically dadded the whole game. Like, every player on the field, he just dadded them. And it was perfect. And they listened for the most part. And, we had 2 heat casualties, and only one of them became more of a thing than just, hey, let's just hose you down a little bit. And that player, by the time we went up on stage, was fine again. He just needed, we needed to bring in the EMTs just to be sure, just to be extra cautious. And, he was fine. We spent more time talking to him before he went in there. They basically cooled him off, got him in that air-conditioned bus of theirs, and took a few minutes, and he was fine.
Yeah. So shout out to Dave. Dave, you're awesome, man. Thank you for all that you guys did. You and your whole team, for both the red side and the blue side. We greatly appreciate it, man. Again, keeping everybody hydrated and stuff. I also want to give a shout out to his daughter, Caitlin. She was fantastic at our CP, man. I get off the field, and as soon as I get off the field, I put my mask down, and she's like, what can I do? I'm like, can you wipe that off real quick? Dude, she took my mask and she was like detailing it. Like, let me get this out of there. Like my stuff's dirty. I said, you do not have to do that. But it was like, anytime somebody put their stuff down on the table, she was like, boom, here it is. It's all clean. You guys are ready to go. Like, she was on top of it. So thank you for all that you guys did, man. I really honestly cannot say thank you enough. You guys were fantastic, and that's why we love you so much. So then let's see. So Saturday was back and forth. Sunday comes down into it. We switch sides. Again, it was a brawl. Like, it seemed like the huge thing. And I try to tell everybody, don't get lost in the castle fight, right? Everybody likes to, each field has that shiny spot on the field where everybody's like, ooh, I gotta go play here. And they forget that the rest of the field exists. And so for Hell Survivors, it's kind of the castle and grinder. I kept telling everybody, listen, don't get caught up in that, because your points aren't there. Your points are in the back of the field. Your points are over here. There's so much more. If you want a gunfight, sure, hit the grinder and castle. But if you actually want to make a difference and you want to get the points and things like that, and don't get me wrong, the grinder and castle are worth points at certain times, but not all day.
Correct.
And so, I look, and there was a big brawl over the castle, this, that, whatever. And they're like, we need you to the castle. I'm like, I don't need to go to the castle. I need to be back at Zulu.
There's enough
and
people
so they're
at
like,
the castle. We're good.
Yeah. They're like, how are you going to get there? I was like, don't worry about it. And in fact, one of the refs I walked up to him.
You do that all the damn time. 1 minute you're there, it's just like, no, I'm going to get there. And boom, he's at the damn back of the field. And we're like, I don't,
Dude, I literally walked across the swamp from village all the way to Zulu. Walked straight across the swamp. Like, the other team even knew I was in there. I get up. I'm like, all right, here I am at the other side. I'm all sneaky. Like, all right, somebody's going to be waiting here for me. I know it. And I'm like, damn, ain't nobody here. They seen me walk across, and there is nobody here waiting for me. I was like, dang, all right, this is nice. Just walked up into Zulu. Shout out Josh, which, by the way, happy birthday, Josh.
Yeah,
and
happy birthday.
dude, held that place for, what was that? I think it was 45 minutes out of the hour, and got my 10 amulets, and I dipped afterwards. It was nice. It was nice. So, but again, Sunday was again a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then it came down to final battle, man. And final battle, I don't know what happened there, because that was definitely not a back and forth.
No, that was fantastic, because I mean, it just shows the heart of junior side. They dominated it. There's no other way to say it. From the scoring to just the overall controlling that area of the field, they just, you had to sort of have an idea that you might be behind in points based on the field control overall. I mean, it was back and forth, but there was some good moments where Blue seemed to hold things a little bit longer. So you had to think you might be a little behind. And they fought absolutely to the end, hard as they could be. I mean, it's one of the most dominating final battle performances I've ever seen from anyone. It just wasn't enough left over in the points to overcome the score, but it was a fantastic fight. And the streamer popper things were cracking me up every time one went off. Every time
the confetti cannons.
I started laughing.
Yeah. No, I love those confetti cannons, man. And that was one of the things that I made sure. In fact, the night before, I was like, Sarah, we're going to Walmart. She's like, for what? I was like, I forgot to buy confetti cannons, and I need them for final battle.
Yeah, it was awesome. But I mean, just shows again the sense of humor of our players, which is fantastic.
A good time, the blocks, man.
We want to win. We want to win, but we want to have fun. I mean,
100%.
That's the whole thing. And honestly, I'd go for the have fun part is a little better than the win sometimes.
Yeah. Right. And I'm not going to pretend for 1 minute that that's not what we're kind of trying to work in there. I mean, I'm only so serious ever at life. So it'd be hard to run a game that was completely serious all the time. I mean, the guy shows up in a full-on inflatable chicken suit, wants to know if it's okay to wear it out there. I'm like, yes. And we immediately started talking about next year. We're like, we're going to get you a basket, like an Easter basket, and we're going to fill it with paint grenades, but we're going to paint them white so you can throw eggs at people out there.
Right.
And they'll blow up. And he's like, he's looking at me to see if he can have permission. I'm over go like, how can we make this worse? How can we really do this?
Right.
And so like, we're already trying to mess with it in a good way. And if you don't dig it, that's fine. But then it might not be, you're not going to probably get along with any of our players long-term, because all of us have a little silly in us.
Right. And that's it. It like, even on the field, like the silliness that takes place on the field, let's be real. Like he said, it's seriousness to a certain extent, but at the end of the day, it's okay. So you win, you get a win. Yay.
Right.
But it's about the memories that you're making on the field. And so, I mean, shoot, even in our tank, we had a tank on tank battle going where we're sitting there shooting at each other. I mean, like, we're literally like tank to tank like this.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there. Who's rock, paper, scissors?
Right.
That's
the idea. Like, that's what we want to promote more than anything else. You'll see a lot more people thumbs up and nice job, player, nice shot, than you'll hear people MFing each other out there.
Right.
And that's the goal. The goal is to look, you're going to come out. The real world's serious enough as it is. And it's going to be serious again on Monday. So for a couple days, goof off with your friends. Go out there, play your hardest out there, but don't forget it's paintball. It's just for fun. Nobody's walking away with the big check, at the end of the thing. So we're just going to have a really good time hanging out with each other and then look forward to the next time. Like, that's the goal. Is you should be leaving on Sunday going, I really can't wait to do the next one.
Right. So let's see. David mentioned the fart bombs. So let me give a shout out to a couple of people. Shout out to Charlotte.
My little Charlotte. Oh my God. I had so much freaking fun with her this weekend, that last weekend. It was great, man.
So this is where you can be
side by side up. She was right there with me. and it just this mischievous, like evil kind of grin. Like, what are we doing now?
But who's her
So,
dad?
so shout out to Jackoff for providing these, but and a shout out to Charlotte. See, this is where the game takes place on field and off field. See, if you can send this little cute little girl over to the enemy base and just keep throwing fart bombs while they're trying to command, or you better yet, the New York boys are like, we're going to Walmart tonight and we're getting a super soaker because we're going to light you up. And then they failed to, but I went to Walmart and got a super soaker, so my girl would be ahead of the game. And the next day, she's over there with a super soaker shooting them. That's her playing the game, but her playing the game off the field. And so,
at one point in time, I had 4 girls, young girls, in the bed of the side by side, and Charlotte and another girl in the front seat, all with squirt guns, and we were literally just riding around slow, squirting people. We had people running up to get hit. That's how warm it was. But, man, it was the greatest time.
And those moments today mean by the time they're ready to take the field and play as regular players, they are already sort of initiated into the program of what we're doing out there. The adults are not being one bit more serious than you are running around with the squirt gun off the field and throwing the fart bomb thing. So just be ready. Understand. So by the time they hit the field, they're going to be completely ready to do it. I mean, we can teach them how to shoot each other with paintballs. That part's easy. Having the right attitude and sense of humor, that one you either got or you don't.
Yeah.
Hey, Bishop said that was awesome. Payback. Don't forget, heard. Hey, listen, Bishop, I love you, Bishop. Bishop was over there like, damn you, preacher. You setting this little girl up to do your dirty work. She's tearing us up all weekend, dog.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. That's one of the best compliments in the world is when you walk up and Bishop turns around, sees you, and go, what the? And he just starts giving you the business about something you did to him. When we were at Bones and Ashes this last year, the whole putting the charge just outside the base, he's like, I saw set him up in front. I'm going to show these kids, the big boy can run. And he's like, I got 2 steps out of the box. He got my head blown off. He's like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing to me?
Yeah. So congratulations, Jacob Easter, by the way, on your win, man. And to all the blue team, Bishop, Traffic, all you guys, man, you guys did a great job. Good job commanding your guys' team and getting that win. You guys played a good game. So again, I want to congratulate you guys. I love you guys. Awesome job. So let's talk about what's going on with Legends now. Then let's jump into
one second here. Let's touch base real quick on something else here. We're definitely going to get into that. Let's talk about Together Tomorrow just real quick. August 10th. Together Tomorrow at Hell Survivors. Shoot, I had a banner here. Darn it. Aaron, where are you? Okay, here we go. There we go. Yeah, he's laughing at me. But once again, with help from Q106, Swarm Foundation is coming out. Dave and them are coming out to help us as well. We will be putting on the 2nd annual Suicide Awareness Together Tomorrow benefit here at Hell Survivors. Check it out at madfrogpaintball.com/Together Tomorrow, and it'll give you a bunch of info. We're still looking for things for the silent auction. We did great with the silent auction last year, raised a lot of money. It actually really made the event worthwhile. We had a bad weather, bad tornado system come through, and the event wasn't greatly attended, but damn, did we do great for the auction. It was a cool time. So please join us. Come out if you can. If you can't, hey, you can send donations as well. Check out madfrogpaintball.com/Together Tomorrow for more information. All right, and then on to go for it, preacher.
Let's talk about what led. So Hanu, was this the last living Legends? What's the future?
Well, I don't know if it's the last living Legends. I no longer work for CPX events, and out of respect for Paulie, because Paulie's great. Paulie is, been a rock and literally like family for the last 10 years, and even before that as a player. the time just came where I needed to let him know, like, we've been shooting towards this goal, and a variety of things like pandemics and things like that have kind of, keep pushing this goal of both of ours down the road. There's a point where I just can't wait anymore. I worked for CPX for 10 years, basically to the day at the end of Legends this year, Living Legends. So we had a conversation. It was a good conversation. Obviously a little bit of hurt feelings, both directions, just a little bit like you never want it to end, but sometimes it has to. But it's just at a certain point, I had to make this decision. So going forward, there will not be a Living Legends branded game run by me, because Paulie started that one when I was still players. The first time I ever went to CPX was for that game. And so out of respect for him, I'm going to be dropping the Legends brand name off of all the games right away. And then Living Legends itself, we're not going to come up with another like Living something, because Paulie and the people involved in that started it, it's just, I want to show the proper amount of respect for what he did and what they all did well before I got there. So the games that I actively participated in designing and running and location and all that, those we're going to keep part of the name as part of a continuality. I don't know if that's the right word for it.
So,
but
for example, we got Dreaded Black Sails.
Black
right?
Flag.
Black Flag.
Dreaded Black Flag. And we're going to do Endless Treasures and things of that nature to try to kind of give people an easy transition over to it.
Okay. So are those two events are going to be your first two under your banner?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. We signed a new long-term deal with both Black Ops for all the games there. We signed a long-term deal with OXCC. I'm waiting to hear back from Hawaii, but we've got time with that one. But we had verbally agreed to a deal prior to this, and then afterwards, and just kind of that one's always a let's just see what's going on in the world kind of deal because of what it is, as you know.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a different. I mean, it's just because of location.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts about that one, and it has to make sense for everybody. And then with the fire, it was important to go back and do that game. It helped bring some money into the local economy, and it was done very respectful by all the players that came out. I can't thank them enough for how they went out there and showed support for everybody. We are discussing making it, calling it Hawaiian Ohana, because that made sense, Hawaiian family, the Jessica Cortez Memorial event.
Okay.
So we're talking about that. Okay. That's what I'd like to do with it. Obviously, the owner has to decide what he wants to do. Clint's a great guy. Hopefully, this relationship continues. And then we will hopefully be running a game at Hell Survivors on the third weekend of May, which we traditionally have done over the last 16, 17 years. It will have a new name. But again, out of respect, that's only fair to do because Paulie still owns CPX events. If he were to choose to, he could hire another promoter and still run Living Legends and try to continue down that line. I don't know exactly what his plans are. But it's sort of hard. I told him it'd be we had the whole discussion and we both kind of joked. It'd been much easier if we'd had some sort of big fight or something and you went your separate ways. It's a lot different when everything's great. Everything's fine. But it's time for us it's time for me to kind of spread my wings and go my own direction. There's some stuff that I want to do that I can't do because I have to answer to an owner. And so if I do it myself, I can make different decisions and stuff. And that's fair with any other situation, being your own boss is, scary as hell sometimes, but also a dream, and so we're going to see.
All right.
The support from the players has been amazing. So
one of the questions that I know I've been asked during this time. So with this new, you commanding your own event, or you not commanding your own events, you doing your own thing now. What's that mean for motorized tanks? Are those going to come back, or is that still
No,
under a
it's the
certain?
insurance thing. It has nothing to do with us.
Yeah, that's
I'll
what I
let
was
you
going to
drive
say.
a
Is
real
that it?
tank out on the field if we can be insured for it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Gotcha.
the insurance, the only way you can get the insurance at the amount that they want you to get would require you to have a business that then takes out the insurance for it. And it's a $3 million per incident policy. It's
Right.
like 20 grand a weekend. Like nobody is going to do it. That's why if you see any tanks out in any fields that are motorized tanks, they're not covered.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, or they've
When
got,
he says
or they've got,
motorized, are those the vehicle tanks
yeah,
that
yeah,
we've seen?
or
Okay.
Yeah.
or they have a commercial policy. I mean,
or
I
they do have
know-
commercial policy, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things that it's sort of like for the longest time what we faced with first strikes. When first strikes, nobody would insure them.
And
And
all of this comes down to some guy at a zombie shoot laying down in front of the hay wagon
There
and
you go.
totally screwing up tanks for everybody.
There
In
you
the
go.
Wait,
insurance
what happened?
industry, that is the thing that happened. Somebody in a zombie
Oh.
costume working at a paintball field decided to lay down in the road, and the tractor rode over him.
Dumbass.
And of course, right there and then, all motorized things need to come off the
Right.
field.
Right. And our insurance
Wow.
company was as plain as you could be. We're
Right,
trying to
right.
price them off the field, was exactly
Yeah.
what I was told. We were trying to
Yeah.
make it so ridiculously priced that they just take them out of the game.
Yeah,
And
so that was one of those things that I was questioning whether or not it was, because obviously you as the owner, you got your own insurance you carry
Mhm.
versus, let's say, Health Survivors carries a different insurance.
Correct.
And so that's why I was curious as to like how that works for you now, being in a different aspect of
well,
things.
you
So,
still like sign each other up for each other's insurance, but to
right.
have like for Brian Barnow's field, he's got 2 tanks at the field, but they're registered vehicles to the field as field trucks, basically.
Yep.
So they can legally be out on the field when people are out in the field because they're actually a commercial vehicle that's assigned to that field that's part of maintenance of that field. So
Gotcha.
it's a loophole, but it's a important one. So he can run the 2 tanks that he runs, but bringing somebody else's outside tank in, we can't still do.
No.
Right.
So
Right.
Hopefully something will come along with the insurance industry that'll change around a little bit.
Like maybe get rid of it.
Or here you go. Richard's got a good point too. Is if it's
Yep.
agricultural area, you can claim it as farm equipment too. But
correct.
there's lots of holes and things you can go through. Hey, the good thing is I guess basically Health Survivors has 2 walking tanks now here on site. One I'm looking at out the window here, and then there's another one sitting up at the west entrance. So that's
Right.
good. That's good.
So
But,
what else can we expect from you,
Hang on,
Hanu?
we're going to answer Brandon McAfee's question real quick because I see it. Yes, that's something that's part of what's coming up on Tuesday. But in case people aren't tuned into this and they'll see it on Tuesday, if it's okay, I'll just do that little bit of housekeeping here.
Go ahead.
If you were a general, XO, Legion commander for any of our events, as you know, you got entry, air, and a certain amount of paint depending on what job you had done. And you got that for life as part of being a commander for a Legends event. Well, we're going to continue that. So that
Awesome.
still applies. So previous commander hookups stay in place. If you ever took part in the first 30-day bulk payment deal to buy a certain amount of paint and get it at a certain hookup, we're still doing that. Okay. We're still going to run the loyalty program. So if you attended and paid entry, air, and at least a case of paint for 2 events in 1 calendar year, the remaining events for that calendar year for you will be free entry and air. Okay. So that's going to continue. And because this is a 5-event year, if you attended those, we are still anybody that was in the running for the 5-event jersey, the special jersey, that's still in play too. It's just going to have different logos on it.
Awesome.
No, I don't think we've really
Yeah.
So,
talked about.
So that was going to be another one of my questions, but I wanted to know what we expect
yep.
to see from you before we hop into that other one.
Well, the goal
So,
is I didn't want to take away something like that from the players that earned it. I mean, I earned it at one point before I was producing these games. I was a commander at these games, and I got to say it was pretty cool to be able to have that feature. And I love seeing our previous commanders come back and participate. I love seeing, like, Elijah was sitting on a golf cart with like 15 minutes to go before game on and was just chill as he could be. And I'm like, isn't it nice once you've done it? Like, you can kind of chill a little. And then, like you had said, Bill, like, it's the same idea. Like, I enjoy their company because you build this weird little bond, especially when you're the main commander at Living Legends itself. It's still a little different than some of the other games when it comes to what kind of all is entailed in that. And you kind of join a little unique fraternity in a good way. We all kind of did it. And you went through a lot of the same trials and tribulations and sleepless nights and stuff, getting prepared for it. And then kind of the aftermath of it and how that all goes. And so I think it's important to kind of keep that bond together for everybody.
I applaud you for that because that's something very easily. I mean, people don't understand how much that takes, and like we said, whenever you go out there and you're doing all this recruiting and everything else, and dude, it's a full-time job. Like literally, you're putting 40 plus hours a week in up until the event comes. Trying to make sure that your command staff and everybody's all on the same page. B, you still have the same teams that you signed up. Whatever, and yeah, there's a lot involved in it. So
yeah, and you can't. It's the beauty of our sport. Our version of the sport is you're not getting paid.
Right.
It's not an actual job. We can't make you do any of this. So you have to, as a commander, choose to commit that level. And then your XO and your Legion commanders commit at that level. And then get your players to commit to that level. And
right.
It's all just this agreement amongst each other that we're going to go out there and do this thing together. And it's a beautiful thing to watch it come together, but you can never discount the amount of time and effort and work that goes into it.
I don't know how the hell I pulled off some of those numbers a couple times, man, because it's just you're so into it and then the next time you're just into it just as much or just a little bit more, and then there's like nobody. It's crazy. Recruiting comes down to a lot of damn things. It really does, and sometimes it's just luck.
Right. Yeah, sometimes it's luck. Sometimes it's the things that's taking place within the community itself. Like it's crazy. At one point in time, you could have 50 teams signed up for you, and then come gameplay, all of a sudden your 50 teams are not there anymore. So that's why, as a commander, like, you really got to be on top of it and make sure that you still have those same teams, all the way through, and something didn't happen, and all of a sudden the team's like, yeah, we got to jump sides, because that happens.
Yeah, I mean, but it's our player family. I mean, you just watch how they respond. Like, once you're kind of in the group, and all of a sudden you'll realize, like, this isn't a little clique. This is a humongous group of people that are all working together. See, Isaac knows my favorite sentence.
Right.
He's one of the OGs that was around one of the first times. I'm like, all right, I got a hopper left. Who wants to do something stupid? And Isaac's like, yo, right here. But, like, we opened the page this week, and, like, you put up a brand new idea like what I'm doing. You kind of always, lots of people tell you, like, hey, this is going to be great, and a lot of people are going to love it, I think, and you're hoping. 1 week, over 1,300 people have followed the page,
Nice.
in 1
That's
week.
awesome.
That's just fantastic. And you can't buy that kind of support. You can't beg for that kind of support. All you can do is hope that you've taken good care of players and they enjoy their weekend and they enjoy spending time with you, and that they want to do it. And that's just a fantastic feeling to see that go on and realize that, you're very lucky. Like, that's all I keep thinking this whole week. I'm like, how lucky I am that it seems like everybody's just really excited about this new idea for what they're going to get out of it, but also they seem pretty excited for me too. Like they're happy for me, which is a cool feeling. You know?
So what kind of changes can we expect coming up?
Well, we're going to automatically, the very first thing we're doing is we're going to the brand new field in Myrtle Beach.
I'm looking forward to that. I wasn't planning on attending, but now that I know it's going to be there at the new field, we're going to be there.
Going to be at the brand new field. We're going to develop the storyline along the way of the field growing, because I mean, I don't know if you saw the post this week, like he just got permission when we were out in Hawaii. The plans got approved, and then there was the final sign off on you can literally start, digging anytime you want now kind of thing. And once he finally got that means we can go. And then it's just a timing thing. But because of the timing thing, what we're going to do is design the game to follow the development of the field. Okay. First year, 2 pirate captains find this island. They both get part of a treasure map, basically, that tells them there's ancient treasure on this island. And they're going to get brought to the island, and they're going to develop it. So the island's going to be, clearly there was a culture that was on this island at one point, but there's not a lot of development, things like that. Very much wooded, deserted island kind of thing, with a few surprises in there that we're not going to tell you about. And then, next year, they've been on this island and battling each other and searching for stuff. So now they're starting to make developments. They're starting to make towns and cities. And one town's going to look a lot like Nassau. And one town's going to look a lot like Robinson Crusoe. And, based on the cruise. And then we're going to start, they're going to start building, a dock area and a pier area and some of the things that you'll find in those areas and so on. And as it develops, and the ultimate goal is the town is going to be so cool to play through that we're going to have some cool features, like the player party on Friday night will actually take place in the Pirate Tavern on the field.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So that's the goal of the way we're going to try to do. And we're going to try to do all the games. We're going to try to just give them a nice refresh. The pirate theme at that one, still a very good theme. Everybody likes pirates, but let's kind of up the storyline. When we go out to OXCC for Endless Legends, that is still a very big fan.
Hold on a minute.
Excuse me. Endless Treasures. Endless Treasures.
I get in trouble for calling Marie Mary all the time, so I'm going to get you on that.
Good point. Endless Treasures. The plan is to, people love the puzzles, the ciphers, all the craziness that we do out there. That one gets to be a lot of fun and silly. So we're going to continue down that, but kind of even open it up more and get a little more storyline into it and have a good time with that one. So should be good. And then, we'll have to see what goes forward with Hells and coming to Hells, and hopefully that'll work out. We would love to be back, but we got to make sure that makes sense for the new owners. They're fantastic. They were a lot of fun to hang out with. We're going to try to come up for Monster Game and play a little with the Mercs, and then just kind of hang out and kind of do what you did, where you get to just kind of play and goof off a little and do that. And then for Bones and Ashes, we're going to keep it as Bones and Ashes. We're just going to drop the back half of the name off, just like the other ones. And that one, we just got more coming. And I don't know if you saw Nate, he's building like 2 new fields that should be in place for next year's event.
Dude, okay, so when we stayed there, that whole time that we stayed at his field for that little while there, every morning, the crack of dawn, the dude's out there on a machine taking stuff down. I was just like,
and he's there
till it's dark and he can't see what's going on. It's like, dude, what the hell?
Did 45-minute phone call with him today about something we're doing with Dreaded. That again, you'll have to wait for, unfortunately.
In the background, right?
And he's on the machinery doing his thing, and you can hear all this. And all of a sudden, he starts yelling about something. I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh, not you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, gotcha." Because he's putting new electrical in for the truck thing that's coming in. He's wiring up and getting water to X amount more spots, because it's just he doesn't have an off button, but he's a really great guy to be around because of that. That just amazing drive that he has is really kind of fun to watch. And now that we live in the area, because we have such a good friendship and stuff like that, Lonnie and I are like, look, anything you got going on, we're going to come over and help. Because, if we lived up by Hells, we'd be there every weekend for every event trying to help out too. It's just what we would do. It's the nature of a lot of our. You'll notice a lot of our friends. It's all kind of.
I was
You
gonna
start
say
seeing all the
that's
same features in people.
that's where we go back to the whole aspect of, friends and family. Like when you take a look at the sport, and that's why I like the sport so much. At the end of the day, yeah, we're shooting each other. This is going on, that's going on, but we're all family at the end of the day, friends and family, man. And
I
it
like
doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter
exactly.
how young you are, what ethnicity you are. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. If you got an ailment or not, dude, everybody's on the field. Everybody's the same. Everybody's having a great time, and that's
There's
really what
quite a
it's
few
about at the end
people
of the
out
day.
there. There's quite a few people out there playing their ass off, and you wouldn't know it, the disabilities that they have, and they're having a freaking blast, man.
Like
It's
Ian's out
such a
there, he
great.
can't hear. You got Mute out there who can't hear.
Yep.
They're playing. I mean, just we got
I'm talking. You
Bray
got
on our
people. You got
team
people.
who's out there with
You got
I
people
mean,
with limbs. Yeah.
you got Reyes who's out there running around. We call him Peg Leg, but he's out there
Mhm.
running around with diabetes and he's doing dialysis. Barney, my man, out there still freaking kicking butt. Like,
Dude
dude,
named
there's so many
Diabetes.
people.
Well, that's
Different
the
dudes,
thing.
but same dude.
Listen to her. She's right. So peg leg and diabetes are both on the team. Okay,
Yeah.
that's their call signs. Their call signs
Two
by
different
choice.
people.
So you got peg leg running around with diabetes.
But
Legitimately,
they both have diabetes.
But they both have diabetes. Yeah, it's okay. We're fucked up,
Right.
but we love each other.
Well, but that's how it goes. Like we were joking not too long ago. Like we were talking. Somebody was asking about who was going, and I started listing off the names, and I'm 10 people deep, and I'm like, I just realized like none of my friends have real names. Like nobody has a grown-up name. Everybody's got some sort of weird nickname, and almost to a person, there's usually a pretty messed up story that goes with some of them. You know what I mean? And other ones not. But I mean, it just shows how it kind of rolls. And like we were talking once, we had a thing happen once at a Hawaiian game, and somebody was like, "Oh, it's this and that, and that player's a girl, and so you gotta take extra care of her, and this and that and the other thing." And the people around were like, and I basically was saying to them, and I say the same thing when we're out here. Mask goes on, you're a paintball player. You're not old, you're not young. You're not a girl, you're not a boy. You're not gay, you're not straight, you're not black, you're not white, you're not Asian, you're not any other way that we go anywhere else in the world and put some sort of title or label or division amongst us. You put a mask on, you're a paintball player. And that's it. And that's all I need to know about you.
Mm-hmm.
I might like some of the paintball players better than others, but you join the club as soon as you put that mask on and come out on the field with us. That's it. You're in.
Right.
And if you're
like
cool and you're fun to hang out with, well, we'll hang out even more.
Right.
But you're
and
all welcome.
That's like George said, you don't even have to play. You can just come out and have a good time at the events. And realistically, when I first started playing the sport, my wife was worried because I started bringing my son to the field. My son was like 3-4 years old. No, about 4 or 5. And she was like, he's allowed to go to the field with you? I said, yeah, he can run around, blah, 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 blah. I said, my team looks out for him. And she's like, what? So what are you doing what's he doing when you're on the field? I'm like, I don't know, sitting there throwing paintballs at the tree and stuff, because we're all a giant family. We all look out for each other on the field, off the field. It doesn't matter, And again, that's why I love the sport so much, because like you said, the moment you're there, you're a paintballer. You're nothing else. It doesn't matter.
Now he's 17 and kicking our asses.
Yeah.
He just turned 17. Yeah,
I'm watching during Final Battle, I couldn't quite tell what the outfit was. I'm like, okay, here's one of our people in costume. Okay. And then I kind of put it together. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, one, he grew 6 inches since the last event somehow.
Right.
Okay. So there's that. And then, but there he is. Like
running around this big gremlin suit on.
He's dominating. The kid who's, like you said, that was running around throwing paintballs at me while I'm running a game and you guys are out there playing and we're playing dodgeball as he's throwing paintballs at me when he's a little dude, is out there dominating and getting to see that and be like, well, good, because I can't run anymore. So I'm glad to see you out there running, And Lisa's son.
There's another one. 4
years ago for the 4 or 5 years ago, we did the
Robbie.
whole meat stick thing that he was selling for his Cub Scout to send Cub Scouts to the camp thing. Put it out to the paintball players. Hey, guys, we got a guy who's doing this. We need some stuff. I know a guy that bought a case of meat sticks. He brought all these meat sticks and a whole separate case for just one player. Like the paintballers just answer the bell every single time.
Girl Scout cookies at Bones and Ashes. Oh my God,
dude, that was like crack dealers out there, man.
I bought a case.
We bought a case from them. It was just the easiest way to do it. We mixed and matched the case, but we bought a case. It was just the easiest way.
It was like a third of the price
So-
in Michigan.
And it was better. It was better than our Michigan prices too. It was great.
Right.
It was a deal.
So all
Whenever
this
we go to
talk
Keys-
about family and everything. The name of your company now is what?
Is Ohana P.B, which is originated in my paintball team, which you guys are old enough to be around when I used to actually play. And at least Bill
Well, you
is.
still play sometimes. Come on now.
still play sometimes.
Don't count
Still-
yourself out.
I still got a game or two in me. But when I played on a more regular basis, when I was playing basically every weekend, a month, and it was part of the concept. I was on a very mill sim oriented team that had lots of rules and lots of things of that nature. Kids couldn't play. Women weren't really supposed to be on that style
this
team.
is not a fun thing. I've seen it.
I went, this is opposite of kind of what I want to be doing. So I invented the team that in my mind wasn't even a team. It was more of an idea. You want to come? You want to just be part of the family? You want to hang out? Oh, you're coming to the game. You don't have anybody to hang out with. It's just you and a buddy. You don't have chairs. You don't have camping. You come and hang with us. We'll look out for you. You can eat with us. You can hang with us, kind of just join in the club that weekend. And it just kind of grew from there. And so it seemed like a very natural transition to take that concept from the team to the company. You've seen my games. I know there's some people that aren't happy that I did it, but the very first thing I did was get rid of the bikini contest. And it increased our overall family where now wives and kids are coming. And if the whole family is involved in this sport, is a better chance of everybody getting to come and play than if it's just the guy or just the girl or something like that going off to do it and the other one doesn't get to come and participate or isn't comfortable, or you can't bring the kids. So we got rid of the bikini contest. We started doing like a craft tent at a couple of the games. So the little kids have something to do. So both parents can go play. That mentality was important to me. And at Bones this year, we had an announcement. We had 851 players. 19% were minors. I mean,
That's awesome.
That's incredible. Almost 20% of the people that took that field were under the age of 18. That's backfilling the sport, which is fantastic. It means that the concept of making it comfortable where you can bring your kids to be part of this, and it's a safe environment where they can learn this sport and learn the sportsmanship and the competitiveness of it, but in an environment that is safe to do that with, it moms and dads are comfortable with. That's a huge compliment. That was the turnout. And so that's where we're trying to go with it.
Now, see, the cool thing that in where he goes with this is he's saying that there's 19%, but like if you are part of the mission teams or anything like that, like he has specific missions that you actually need to have young guns for.
Correct.
Your young guns have to go and complete this mission. Are they something extreme and hard to get to? No, he makes it easy for your young guns to understand and get involved in the game and know what it is. And then the cool thing that I like, especially out there at Black Ops, right, is so like a lot of times his young gun missions are go to this point and get this, and it'll be like a paint grenade. And then a mission later on, which our team messed up this time at Legends. They didn't understand what the paint grenades were for. And so they gave them to the little kids and they were throwing them. And I'm like, where's our paint grenades? They were like, oh, we thought
might
they were
need
for the
those
kids to
later.
throw. Yeah, they were at a base later on. So they had to go buy new paint grenades.
But that's the idea. The idea is, and even with the kids, they're not gimme missions. They're just a little easier than the regular missions because I want them
they're fun,
to feel like they're working for it, but I want them to get success. I want them that feeling, that feeling of going up the roller coaster and then rushing down with the success and that adulation of I did it. I did this. And now they ran this mission because I did my part and we just did this. And I've watched adults turn and understand the moment and look at the little kid and go, that mission we just got, you did it. We may have thrown the grenade, but you got us the grenade. That's your mission that you completed too. And you see the pride in these kids, and they want more. Now they want harder missions. They want to get involved. And, it's easy to get people to come to one of these games and just shoot each other, but that's not going to really be a fun game overall. Over time, people get bored even with that. You got to let them have something to accomplish and make it hard. You notice that I don't do any gimme missions. I try to make them hard. I had to change my mentality from a player where I'm like, gee, I'd like that mission to be a little easier to I don't care if you get them done. That's not my problem. That's your problem to solve. And then to your all's credit, you keep solving them. So then I got to up my game and make them harder. So
you don't have to keep making them harder, okay?
No, I'm making them harder.
You can nix that a little bit.
You keep solving the problem, so I have to keep up in my game.
But no, and that's like I said. I mean, even this year, Colt down there at Black Ops, he was one of the young guns that I had running with me, and I'm like, look, dude, we're gonna jump this trench, and he's like, what? I can't jump. Yeah, you can, dog. You got this. you got this. And if you don't, I got it on GoPro, but you got this, dog. and here it was that he jumped that trench, completed his young gun mission. I think the kid's 14, if I'm not mistaken. You didn't have to
yeet him. You didn't have to yeet him. Remember that one kid at Fort Knox? That was his dad.
Yeah, that was his dad yeeted him.
That was his dude. Nice. His dad just threw him right through the doorway into the bunker, and we're all kind of like, wow, that was a little intense for him. But he was just like, yeah.
So this one, you had these like pool noodles that were like a circle that you had to wear. And so for each person in the base, you got points that had the pool noodle on, right? And so, like, this little kid, I'm like, oh, dude, I've been running with him all weekend. He liked having fun collecting some of the different comics and stuff. I'm like, dude, we'll put this on you. You just got to stay in this hut, dude. And he's like, oh, okay. Until we get out there and we're running to the hut. Next thing I know, Dad takes him by his shirt and just whoop, yeet, tosses him. The kid goes in. He's all discombobulated. He's like, and I'm like, listen, dude, just stay right here. I got you, dog.
Dad got a little excited. It happens. You're cool.
Oh, yeah. Dad yeeted him so far. He was like, you're getting in there, son. But, I mean,
stories.
like rootin' tootin', man. One of the first time I met he's from Swamp Monkeys, man. One of the first times playing with him was doing a young gun mission, and same way with Squirrel out there at Black Ops. They were like, what? We got to do this? Yep. And then now that we completed this, cool. I'm going to keep these guys occupied, start running and changing all these sticks over to our color. And they were like, what? Yeah.
Well, and that's how it started with my kids when I had my team. Is I wasn't able to, because of the type of team it was. They were like, well, your kids can't play. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to let my kids play. So if I got to go start my own thing so my kids can play, and, Duncan was totally into it for a few years and was very good at it. Cade would play a couple games and then go find a dog or some rocks to play with. Like, he just wasn't his thing, but he would, he'd play a little bit and got into it. But I wanted them to have that opportunity to get out there and do the thing. And that I enjoyed. And if I wasn't going to make them do it, but like, it was sort of one of those things like, look, I'm going to go this weekend and your mom is going to go with me now, because there was a point where you could see that there was a potential of it maybe going somewhere for me at a certain point. So she definitely got involved and got me in the right place at the right time so I could go and play and try to do the thing I needed to do. And they kind of had to come with. And Cade's birthday is the 18th of May. So he is celebrated at Living Legends basically most of his life until he was old enough not to come anymore. And we tried to make him special, but like, that was just how it was. He didn't know any different when it came to like, I'm getting a cake this weekend while we're at this big paintball thing. It's just going to happen. So, but it was important. And then it carried over to what we wanted to do going forward. Like you said, with your son there, with your kids, Bill, when we first started hanging out, your kids were still kind of kids, and I knew your kids as kids, and I'm running into the grinder the old grinder with the overhang, trying to grab the bomb and get it undone. All of a sudden little young ass Justin comes flying in next to me, and I'm like, Jesus, just hide behind me. And now I couldn't keep up with him for, cash. I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the difference of that.
Yeah. It's been a fun trip, let me tell you, man.
Yeah.
Now my kids, they could care less about paintball. I'm still doing it, but they could care less. Well, okay.
That's okay.
I'm saying I can still do it, but there's a lot of people that say I still don't. But anyways, but I have fun. I enjoy being here. I enjoy being at the venues. I do like to play. I'm just a prima donna, and if it's too hot or too cold or too wet, or it's a day that ends in a Y, I just don't feel like playing. Anyways, well, I hope that gave everybody a lot of answers. All right. So we've kind of got, from my feel, is we kind of got a flow just going on here, and we're going to continue to do what we're doing, having fun, enjoying the same group of people. Sounds like some of the same type of game. A couple
the
name
same
changes,
theory behind the game, but now
Yeah.
I can do a few more things to it that I've been wanting to do. And the idea is to try to have the right level of continuation through it and the same core of what people are looking for at our events. That, each each Legends event is kind of scored differently. Like, you have to do different things, or there's different features at each one. So you don't, like, you can't say I played one, I played them all kind of thing, because each one is different in a year. But there's a core concept that we go for that we're hoping is what people are relating to and liking, a certain level of production that we go for. And then we're going to be able to do that, and hopefully even more, keep it fresh, keep it exciting. And, now you're all going to be able to get a bunch of cool turtle shirts too.
Hey, there we go. There we go. Definitely cool. Definitely cool. All right. Well, hey, wow, man, we ate through an hour really fast. Hour and 15 minutes almost here, guys. It's a good conversation. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Like, anybody's watching, like normal.
I know. It's just talking away. Except there's not bang, 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 bang going on in the background like it usually is. So I don't know, Preacher, you got anything else you need to touch on? What's next event?
So let's see. Coming up next. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go.
So
go
coming up next for me, I know I'm going out to Halo at EMR.
Nice.
So I'll be looking forward to that. Don't forget, Noah's going to be commanding John Wick 2 out at Crew. It's going to be a bring your own paint event. Make sure you guys sign up and join us for that game. It's going to be a one-day event. It's bring your own paint. Dude, it's going to be a fun time. So make sure you join Noah, and his XO is going to be Johnny Bravo. So that's going to be a good time. And then after that, we got Monster. After that, we got Monster Game. So make sure you guys come out, join us on the red team. That's going to be a blast. We're looking forward to that. Again, that's another bring your own paint event. So come on out.
Still campsites available at the campground. Picnics Rail to Trails if you guys are interested. RV sites even.
Well, we can make it. We'll be shooting with you and against you, because I'm playing with
all right. Hey, listen, sounds good. Sounds good.
Definitely.
And then let's see. After that, one more shout out. Don't forget to join us. What is that game called? Something 24K or something. John Lee will be commanding the red side.
Final battle. I think it's final battle.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So join us for
we were looking at some of that today with Worm. Final War. Final War is the name of it. Yeah, we were going over some of that storyline with Worm today. It was kind of nice, actually. I got a little chat time on the Hell Survivors Live. And then we've got Together Tomorrow coming up. So we'll have that August 10th. So please join us for that. Hanu, I think I am going to see you in a couple of weeks
at the Mud Bogs.
Black Ops.
Yeah, I've never been to a Mud Bog. I'm kind of excited to see how that goes.
I'm looking forward to it too. We had a little bit of fun over the winter with our side by side and watching some mud bogging and swamp riding and stuff like that. Nothing that I could even keep up with, let me tell you. But
so what's the date for that, Hanu?
For what?
For the
Mud Bog is going to be 1 second. I got it here. It is June. Oh, come on here. June 21st, June 21st, 22nd, 23rd.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's Black Ops has got a place down in North Carolina at the Fayetteville location that is called the Wrecking Yard. And
the Wreck Yard.
The Wreck Yard. It's some fun. I didn't get too crazy out there, but we definitely had some fun. Got stuck a couple times. Thankfully, the wench, and I'm not talking about the wife.
Well, it could be. We got a pirate themed game down there, right? So, I mean,
I get it.
Right. Yeah. So we had some fun. So what else besides that, honey? What else you got going on? You got any?
Nate and Eric have a game at Fayetteville the weekend after Trucks Gone Wild, Red Homefront, which I've gone and played before. It's a fantastic game. Very, very fun. It right now it's kind of more of a regional game, but they get a couple hundred players out there. It's usually a pretty good time, and the game is very well written. John and Roger put a lot of effort into it. It's a really well thought out concept of game. I've gone a few times now, and it's always very interesting. You commanded it once against Mamba.
Yep. Commanded it against Mamba, as a matter of fact. Yeah, definitely.
We were there.
It was a fun time.
Which led to a very crazy night at the Shogun Hibachi later, but that's a different thing. For us, we've got Dreaded Black Flag coming up. That opens a week from Tuesday. And we'll have more information on there. We're going to have some product coming out pretty soon that are going to be available on the website. You're going to be able to order Ohana P.B. t-shirts and tank tops right off the bat because, everybody does t-shirts, but I usually only wear tank tops, so we're doing both. There's even a rumor there might be some sort of version of board shorts being made.
I thought you were going to say he was going to sell flippy flops.
Just assume that might be a thing. That's an easy one, but we might be able to get some shorts going and some other stuff like that. We're working on that. When I have more details, I'll let you know. And then we will still be doing our Endless Treasures event now at OXCC. And let's get the right date out here for you. Dreaded will be the 6th, 7th, and 8th of September. And then Endless will be the 11th, 12th, and 13th of October. Awesome. I'm hoping to have a majority of our schedule out shortly after Monster Game for the 2025 season. And I'm hoping right there at the very end of that tacked on is the next installment of Hawaiian Legends early in 2026.
Nice. George wants to know if your shirts... George Hay wants to know if your shirts will be adult sizes. And George,
as a full-figured, cuddly guy myself, George, I got you. Because I got you. I got Big Fred in Hawaii. I got Giggles. We've got I always say this. We have a few people that make like good wide receivers or running backs, but the reality is most of the paintballers I can put together, we'd make a hell of an offensive line because we could move some bodies if we needed to. So yes, they will come. I was
going a different way with offensive. I was going.
Oh, well, they're offensive too.
Yeah.
As soon as George puts the hat on,
there's a lot of fluffy players in the sport.
We'll call it that way. You know what I mean? We just run between bunkers, not the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or like Big Country. Big Country's another fluffy guy. And he just kind of floats in between them things.
Yeah, for as big as he is, he's pretty smooth. I mean, watch Bishop out there. If I don't put the char right outside the front door, Bishop, he gets it up moving.
Mm-hmm.
Their ankles, you gotta give him credit. Their ankles have got to be strong as can be. That's all I gotta say. Is their ankles got to be strong, man. Big boys. Big fun though,
big
too.
Healthy humans.
Yep, definitely. All right. Well, besides that, I guess we kind of got it all taken care of a little bit. I hope.
If anybody has any questions or concerns or worries, just PM me, or if you got my number, call me. Either one is fine. We'll have more information out, like the website. You can message there, but you can shoot me directly. Happy to answer it. Basically, the short version is everything's going to go forward kind of what you used to. We're just going to get to do a few more cool stuff.
If you're wondering what's going on, follow him on Facebook.
Please keep following the Ohana PB page. I mean, 1,300 people in 1 week was fantastic. I just can't thank everybody enough for the support.
Yeah, so we look forward to the future. There you go. We look forward to the future with Ohana PB and the next event coming up with you guys and hanging out with everybody.
Sounds great.
I guess with that being said, I can let ourselves go here. I wanted to ask what everybody was watching on TV, but I think we could probably just forget about that. I don't know. I need to find something to stream when I'm not doing paintball and the weather gets crappy. I've been through everything. I don't know what else to watch.
I'm going old school. Lonnie bought me the original Law and Order series on DVD.
Okay,
that's a good one.
Season 1 through 20.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's a lot.
That's the one show I stay away from. I don't know why.
That's your problem.
Just watch it.
The original one. Like I tried watching like Special Victims Unit and just like ruined my day every single time I watched an episode. Like it's so depressing and so horrible.
Criminal Minds was like the greatest. I mean, we just totally got into it, but eventually, I guess that says something. I watched too much TV. I guess I don't know.
Hey, Outlander was good.
Yeah, this is true. Our daughter, because of all those damn crime shows, my daughter became a forensic anthropologist. So whatever. Anyhow,
on that note,
we
love y'all.
Yeah, you guys all take it easy, and yada yada yada. Give me a second here. I think I got.
I love you all.
All right, bye.
Love you, Mom.